Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today, unfortunately, the eggs were leaked. I'm posting this video on Saturday. I fully intended on making this video for Sunday when the eggs were revealed, but unfortunately, they got leaked, I think, this morning pretty much. So today, we're going to grade the cards. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on them, which cards I think are the best. It's only 4 cards, shouldn't be the super long video, but of course, before we get started, if you are new to the channel and part of the 63%, I've seen a couple of you guys commenting that you're no longer part of the 63, so if you're part of the 63, hit the subscribe button, turn those notifications, and I will be live tonight on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern, link in the description. I better see you there. Okay, so I really haven't opened packs in a minute, especially on the channel. So before we get started, let's open up my 2 tribute packs. Let's see what we can get. I'm not even really too sure what's in these. Yeah, it's what? Is it a fantasy pack? I don't know, but I know we're able to get the LTD Aaron Donald in here. And I've seen some pretty crazy polls on Twitter and in my Discord. I saw someone, shout out Killer Kitty, he pulled both tribute. Is this gonna be it? That's John Runyon. And that is an ultimate. Is that tribute? No, that's ultimate legend. Okay, not a great pack. But I guess we do get to keep both of them, which is not. I mean, that sucks. Okay, one more. We'd like to pull Aaron Donald. That's the guy we're looking for, obviously. I don't even know what the tribute animation looks like. Pull AKA. It probably won't be up. Kurt Warner. And we pull a Sugar Rush. And it's going to be Raheem Mostert. So, not great. I've seen much better. But let's get into grading some of these eggs, man. Okay, first up, we have the Go Birds egg. And that is going to be Harold Carmichael. Harold Carmichael wasn't someone that I guessed. I don't know why I didn't think Harold Carmichael, but he hasn't had a card in a minute. He's been in an egg / present before, and it makes sense. He's a heavily sought after card because he's 6'8" with 98 speed, which is obviously pretty crazy. I do think as far as base, just being like a base wide receiver goes, no X factors, no abilities, Carmichael will be number 1 based off his size and his speed, and he has a little route running stuff like that to back it up as well. He's been able to juke and be good after the catch on his previous card, so this one shouldn't have that issue really. I do think he is the best wide receiver in the game right now. I really do. Even without like X factors, honestly, I really did like the previous Carmichael for being able to throw like balls over the middle and possession catch, even like kind of high balls in a way, like balls that other players can't get, and being able to possession catch in this year's game against all the KOs is super valuable. So Harold Carmichael, really good card, really good egg, and I probably shouldn't have started with the guy I think is going to be the best, but I do think Harold Carmichael will be the best egg. But the abilities on this card aren't crazy. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to have MUT.gg, and I thought I was going to have the catalog on MUT, but they actually pulled all that stuff down before I hit record, unfortunately, so I don't have, the full. All I have is these pictures on Twitter I was able to find, but yeah, literally, yeah, this card's going to be a demon, man. A+ card without question. But that's what you expect from a, 6'8", 98 speed Harold Carmichael. Next up, we have the matchup Nightmare egg, and let me tell you right now, as a proud owner of this egg, I'm let down by the name. Really, like Luke Musgrave. Okay, sure, Luke Musgrave. 6'6", 253, which is not bad, and then he's got 98 speed, which is also pretty good. I'm not entirely like disappointed by the actual card. I'm more disappointed by just the name of it being Luke Musgrave when it could have been like Jermichael Finley or like a Jimmy, someone like that could have been crazy in my opinion. But definitely, Luke Musgrave kind of a letdown. I don't know, but either way, this card's actually a really good run blocker, and for tight ends right now we only have a couple of guys that can really do both. So having a 98 speed, 6'6" tight end with almost 80 run block, good strength, this card's gonna be a bit of a stud, honestly. But his previous card, it wasn't able to move that well because if you look at the height and the weight, he's over the weight threshold for having that super good juke move. So that's gonna be a problem. He's not gonna be a Kyle Pitts after the catch. He's gonna be more of a Gronk after the catch. That's gonna be the problem with Luke Musgrave. But other than that, I mean, he's a big body receiver that can run block, a big body tight end that can run block. Unfortunately for abilities, I couldn't find anything really too important on the abilities, but that just makes me think that there really isn't anything good on the ability front of things with Luke Musgrave. So I would imagine he'll have some kind of matchup nightmare or some kind of apprentice or maybe even a red zone threat. But honestly, it's tough to really give a tight end like a crazy ability. It really is. Like, what would I, maybe like a free route tech would be crazy, but I doubt he'll get that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really do. So, if I gave Carmichael an A+, I think Musgrave is probably also an A+. I mean, just looking at the landscape of the game, I mean, a run blocking 6'6", 98 speed tight end. That's a pretty easy A+ for me. Next up, we got Ted Hendricks. This one was pretty obvious as to who it was going to be. Of course, it's going to be Ted Hendricks. It's literally said Stork on the card, but 97 speed, 6'7". So if you've been watching some of the budget videos, you know, I still got guys like Harold Carmichael up in those videos, even though he's very slow. The height is so damn valuable. And although Ted Hendricks doesn't get crazy good abilities, he does still get lurk artists for free, which is really all this card needs, in my opinion. As a linebacker, just make it so he's able to animate more. You know, if you're going to use the card, that's great. But unfortunately, if you're going to like play him in 6'1" and need like flat zone KO or mid zone KO, that could kind of suck for you that he doesn't really get those. But, you know, the speed and the acceleration with the block shed and the size, I think this card will be the best user in the game when he does drop. And this is definitely a card I'm looking to go after for sure. I think the height is just, it's going to be super valuable. And with Lurk Artist, he can legitimately probably be an end game user just with Lurk Artist by itself. The only downfall with these cards is the lack of an X factor, the lack of just really good abilities, in my opinion. I think it's kind of been the problem with the whole Sugar Rush promo in general. But obviously the cards have pretty end game stats, like 98, 99 speed. So you're kind of, you know, you're kind of splitting hairs in some instances. But of course, those better abilities, better X factors do give you that slight advantage. But as a user, there really isn't like a crazy X factor that I really love too much. You know, like Avalanche doesn't work much. It doesn't work well. I've used it on Gronk for a while when there really wasn't that many good X factors in the game yet. But yeah, on a user, it's not a very X factor dependent position. As long as you really have Lurk Artist and size and speed like Ted Hendricks has, he's going to be a demon. And although I'm going to give every single card in this video an A+ pretty much, Ted Hendricks to me is my favorite. Will he be better than Carmichael? That's definitely up for debate, but my favorite card from this drop is definitely going to be Ted Hendricks, and another easy A+. I think EA did a good job making sure these cards are all A+. Okay, hold up. This card might be... He might be the guy. He might be the guy. He might be the guy here, Brian Branch. 99 speed. 98 excel, 6 foot, 190. His last card was able to tackle like a gremlin. This card I don't think is going to be much different. And I was not surprised this was Brian Branch. I saw a bunch of guesses about some crazy names. It was always clearly Brian Branch. I don't know. To me, it was always Brian Branch. But can play man, can play zone. You don't even need a theme team or anything for this card. He's already endgame. And here's the big thing. He is able to get deep zone and mid zone for 1 AP. I would imagine he'll get a pick artist on the opposite side of deep zone. That's kind of what they've been doing. So if you don't need a mid zone like I don't, you can just go deep zone and pick artist for 1 AP, which is very glitchy. So yeah, this Brian Branch card is a stud, man. A+. He might be the best actually. But it's tough to say that. Like the thing is, other safeties will come out and there'll be more Brian Branches in the game. They can't drop a 6'8" wide receiver every day. They can't drop a 6'7" user every day. So to me, that's why I would probably put Carmichael and Hendricks over Brian Branch. But honestly, I'm fine that this card might get a little bit overlooked because he's an absolute demon. I think the cheapest of the 4 cards will be Luke Musgrave, just based off a name and the fact he's a tight end. Tight ends just don't sell well. Tight ends don't do well on the auction house. They just are always cheaper for whatever reason in most instances. But I think Brian Branch will probably be number 3 on the cheapest list just because Harold Carmichael, Ted Hendricks are these big names. But also you could argue maybe that maybe some people didn't even like keep those eggs or, you know, wanted to, I don't know, but I feel like he'll be number 3. He'll be number 3. Number 2 will probably be Ted Hendricks, and number 1 will probably be Carmichael just because he's a 6'8" wide receiver. And wide receivers always are pretty much overpriced, especially when they first come out. So those are all your eggs. Your Madden 2024 eggs. You know, let me know what you guys think. I think all in all they did pretty good. If it were me, I probably would have changed up the Luke Musgrave egg. It maybe done like a quarterback or a running back or something like that instead of a tight end. But other than that, I think they did go with like Brian Branch's card's a demon, Ted Hendricks a demon, and of course Carmichael. You can't go wrong with him, right? You really can't go wrong. So a pretty good egg drop here for EA. We're gonna have to see what the rest of the eggs do and see if it's really a good egg drop. We'll see. You know, we're gonna see if it's really good. If it's better than presents. Those were god awful. Hopefully you didn't. If you invested all your coins into these eggs, I have my fingers crossed for you, man, that it's not as bad as presents were. But either way, as always, I will see you boys in the next one. I'll be live tonight on Twitch. I better see you there, 8 p.m. Eastern.